All right, today we are going to be filling out the MLB postseason bracket. It is the evening of Monday, September 30th. The Mets Braves doubleheader is just wrapped up. One team won each game. The Mets won game one, Braves won game two. So they're both in. Arizona's out. Our bracket's finalized. So I'm going to fill this out and I'm going to post it first thing tomorrow morning so that it's out there before any games have been played. So we're going to start with the American League wildcard round. And up first, we've got the Tigers and the Astros. Now, this is a really interesting series because the Astros' first month and a half or so of the season was about as bad as we've seen from them in about 10 years. We've never really seen stretches like that where they're significantly below 500, struggling to score runs, and they really turned things around. I mean, they were helped a little by kind of the entire division falling apart. You know, the Rangers didn't get their footing, the Mariners fell apart. A's and Angels were not really competitive to begin with, and so they did get a little bit of help, but they got in. And this is a team that has made, is it 7 straight American League Championship Series? Something ridiculous like that. They're closest thing we have to a dynasty today's game. And against them, they're playing the Tigers. This is the A.J. Hinch Revenge Tour. The Tigers, who 6 weeks ago had like a 2% chance at the playoffs, something like that. Don't quote me, I don't remember the exact number, but they have fought back basically with one starting pitcher and, you know, just kind of strung together so many wins that they snuck in. And I do respect what the Tigers have done. I really do. I don't think it's enough. I think the Astros are just too complete of a team, and I just don't see it. As much as I'd love to see it, I'd love to see the Astros get knocked out by their former manager, who, yeah, he knew about the scandal and everything, right? But he was the fall guy. None of the players suffered any consequences. It was him and management. As much as I would love to see the Tigers advance, I got to choose the Astros here. And now Royals-Orioles is also an interesting series because you've got two teams that, you know, a couple years ago were awful. I mean, the Royals last year, I think, lost over 100 games. The Orioles back, I think, just about 3 years, lost over 100 games. And they have both kind of built themselves up in different ways. The Orioles, you know, tanked and got all those top picks, right? Adley was a top pick. Jackson Holliday was a top pick. And the Royals didn't quite get there in time to get all those picks. Yeah, Bobby Witt was a number 2 overall pick, but other than him, you know, they have built through trades like getting Cole Reagans and free agency and picking up Lugo and Waka and Adam Frazier and picking up like Tommy Pham on waivers. What? 40-something-year-old Yuli Gurriel is playing first base. It's like crazy team. And they've both struggled so much, you know, the last month or so of the season. Orioles even a little further. They were neck and neck with the Yankees for a while. But I don't know, I think the Corbin Burns versus Cole Reagans is going to be such a great matchup. I think I got to choose the Royals. I think just their 3 starters are good enough to shut down Baltimore's bats. And yet Jordan Westburg's back, but he's, you know, coming off an injury. Adley has not been up to his standards this year. I think I'm going to go with Kansas City. All right, now, National League Wildcard Series. We got Mets-Brewers. Now, the Mets did just play 5 games in the last 4 days, right? Something like that. And so they are a little off balance from all that. That said, they did win Game 1 today, which meant they didn't have to throw Severino Game 2, which means he's good to go Tuesday in Game 1 of the wild card round. And the Mets put up a ton of offense today in that first game. I mean, Lindor, Nimmo, Alvarez, like, they can punish these pitchers. And, yeah, the Brewers' pitching staff is pretty good. I mean, their pen is ridiculous, and they're starting probably Peralta, Savali, and Montas. Like, it's a legit rotation. And the Brewers' bats are, I mean, William Contreras had another phenomenal year. Willie Adames had another great year. Terang, this is going to be a really close series. But I think the Mets proved to me today that they've got enough to fight their way through the first round at least. Now in the other series, we've got the Braves and the Padres. And this one to me is the kind of most lopsided of these four. I think it's the one where I have a hard time seeing the Braves win this, especially they lost Chris Sale today, so he's, as far as we know, not pitching in this series. There's talk of them bringing up Ian Anderson, who hasn't pitched in the majors in 2 years, to start tomorrow. I don't think they have it. I think, obviously no Acuna. Yeah, they've been scrappy. They've picked up, good performances out of guys like Urshela and Duvall and Ramon Laureano. Like Whit Merrifield, they've, pieced together a solid enough season. But I just think the Padres are going to go, Cease and Mike King. I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the Padres, so I'm picking the Padres here. All right, American League Division Series. We've got Astros and Guardians. Now, the Guardians, to me, yeah, they're the 2 seed. I wonder how much of that is beating up on the White Sox all year. I know the White Sox actually gave them a little bit of trouble, but their starting pitching is not that great. They've got Tanner Bybee, and he's had a really good year, but beyond him, I don't know who else they're going to start in a 5-game series. I think you'd start Matthew Boyd. It doesn't feel strong enough as far as a rotation. And yeah, their lineup can bash, and that should keep them from getting swept. But until they prove to me otherwise that they can't make the ALCS, I lean towards the Astros making the ALCS. And now Yankees-Royals. I just think Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, Stanton's had a good year, Austin Wells, Gleyber Torres has finally heated up the last month or so since he's been the leadoff bat. And yeah, the Royals have some pretty filthy pitching, but I think the series with Baltimore probably will go 3 games. So if they're forced to use all 3 of them, does that mean that Brady Singer starts game 1 against the Yankees, or does Cole Reagans do it on short rest? Either way, I think the start of the series could be off enough. And I think this Yankees team, yeah, they had struggles, but I think they're good enough. They'll throw, Cole Rodon and probably Luis Gil as their 3 starters. And so I'm going to go with the Yankees. I think they have fewer question marks than the Royals, especially with the Royals having to come off another series. Now, in the National League, the Phillies are top to bottom talent-wise, probably the most talented team in baseball. It's either them or the Dodgers. The Dodgers are missing a lot of pitchers right now with injuries, so current healthy talent, I think I go the Phillies. You've got an all-star or potential all-star basically at every position on the field. And the Mets, they've been fighting for their lives. And yeah, I think they can fight their way through one series. I have trouble seeing them get past these Phillies. Zach Wheeler, Ranger Suarez, and then the bats. Harper's having a great year. Alec Boehm's having a great year. Kyle Schwarber, Trey Turner. I don't think they can get over this Phillies team. I think the Phillies are just too deep, too talented. And now Padres-Dodgers. This is going to be a really interesting series because even though the Dodgers are the number 1 seed, they are the team with the best record in baseball, they are missing an entire rotation and a half worth of starters. So many guys are hurt right now. I don't know who they're planning to start. I don't know if they know who they're planning to start, for the first 3 games of a potential NLDS. And the Padres, yeah, they're going to have to fight through the Braves, but again, I think that's going to be not the closest wildcard series. I think of the series that could go 3 games, that's the least likely. And so we've seen the Dodgers get surprised in an NLDS by a division rival. Just last year, we saw the Diamondbacks stun them, take them down pretty easily in the NLDS. And so I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I think the Padres do it again. All right. ALCS. Yankees Astros once again. It's happened a handful of times over the last 8-9 years, and this, I think, is the best Yankees team we've seen since 2009. Just pure talent-wise, I don't think it's controversial to say. Maybe 2017, but that 2017 team came within, a couple runs of beating those Astros, who ended up winning the World Series. And yeah, this is me being Yankees homer, but they are the number one seed. They have a good, healthy rotation. The bullpen, they've had struggles, but they've kind of found contributions where they've needed to. Clay Holmes is no longer the closer, and Luke Weaver has been pretty solid all year. And the Astros, I think this is going to be a 7-game series. I think this could come down to, does somebody get hurt earlier in the postseason? Does, some pitcher have an unexpected meltdown and, lose a game for their team? It's going to come down to some crazy chance like that. I think this is going to be a really close series, but I'm picking my Yankees here. And now Phillies-Padres, we have seen this series before. And again, these teams are two of the more talented teams in baseball. But just the Phillies and their bats and their pitching, and I just think they're such a deep team. I mean, their 6 and 7 hole hitters tend to scare you. It's just such a complete, powerful contact. They do it all. And so I'm going with the Phillies. We're getting a 2009 rematch. And now Yankees-Phillies. Honestly, I'm tempted to just pick the Phillies, and then I'm either right or my Yankees win the World Series, in which case I feel pretty good about that. But yeah, I think as much, I said before, the Yankees bullpen has struggled but has looked good at times. I don't think they have enough sure things in that bullpen. I think at some point you're going to be throwing Tim Hill or an Ian Hamilton, and somebody's going to have a bad inning. And somebody's going to have another bad inning. And there's going to be a couple games that the Yankees blow leads that the Phillies bats can capitalize on. And so I am picking the Phillies over my Yankees as my World Series champion. And we'll skip the tiebreaker. I don't think that really matters for you guys. But that is my bracket for the MLB playoffs. I'm picking the Phillies over my Yankees. If I had to guess, it's a 6 or 7 game series. It's two really good teams. And it's going to come down to a couple bounces one way or the other. And I think the Phillies are just kind of prepped more for those bounces than the Yankees are. So anyways, let me know down in the comments what you think, who you think is going to win the World Series. Are any of these takes kind of crazy off the wall? Because I think in my head they all kind of make sense. But till I tell other people, I don't really know how you guys think. So let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all next time.